All right, welcome back to the Medicine Garden. We have a few people in here and a new face excited to introduce Madeline. And we have Chris and Pata in the house. Other people might come in as we speak. And just want to say thank you for showing up today with me. And we'll talk about the soul today. So I hope you're excited about that. Look forward to hearing your thoughts. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, first, maybe introduce yourself and what brings you into the medicine garden today, and maybe what's going on your own soul journey.
Me last year when I took the baby.
Oh, 1 second. I don't know who the private caller. Can you let me know who you are in the chat? I have you muted right now because we're in session. Okay. Yes. Madeline. Hello? Private caller.
Hello?
Yeah. Who is this?
Oh, this is Frank Kelly.
Who?
Frank Kelly.
Frank Kelly. Are you going to turn your video on so we can see you?
Oh, yeah. Almost. I know how to do this. Let me see.
But while you figure that out, I'm going to keep you muted so I can start the conversation because we've already gotten started, okay?
Okay, that's cool. I got to figure out how to get the thing on. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. Madeline, Chris, Pata, what's going on in your soul journey? And then we'll talk about a little bit more about the soul path. But just let us know how you're doing and yeah, what brings you into the medicine garden.
So I'll go first. I hopped on a live on YouTube like over the past weekend, and that is kind of what brought me here. But I'd been following you on YouTube for a little while and just kind of like super interested in some of the stuff that you would say would just really resonate. And I'm just kind of here for not only to kind of get a little deeper on what my soul path is, but also to just be a part of the community. So
Awesome. Super glad you're here, and I'm looking forward to chatting one-on-one with you tomorrow. And by the way, Frank is a real person. We've been emailing, so don't be afraid. Just trying to figure this out. Chris, Pata, how are you guys doing, and what brings you into the medicine garden? Hey, Anthony.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
I think I got it going on there. I think I got it straight now.
Okay. I'm gonna boot the other video, the other place that you called in from, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right. We're figuring this out, y'all, in real time. And I'll have you introduce yourself in a moment, Anthony. But Pata or Chris, let us know how you're doing, what brings you into the medicine garden, and what's going on in your soul today.
What's up, Ray? I'm just here to listen and get my weekly combo in. I'm doing good. It's very cold here in Michigan, but I'm in the house staying warm. I feel like the last couple weeks when I hopped on the call, I've been like zipping around. Yeah. So it's good to be chilling at the house, and yeah, I'm doing good. Kind of feel like I'm getting my energy back from like New Year's and the holidays. Did a little bit of partying, did a little bit of hanging out. So yeah, feeling good, energized, working out. Happy to be here.
Good. You're just one of those special people who can balance both worlds and party and keep up, and I cannot. So good for you, but you also in my life, I know, because I need to have more fun. And I thank you for being here and showing up. Whether you're in the on the move or not, it's kind of interesting to see what you're up to. Pata, it's been a minute. Welcome back. How have you been? Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been a minute. I tried to get on. I thought we would have one January or New Year's. I'm so.
I was out, like I said.
My bad.
That was my bad.
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, it's just been weird stuff going on. I don't even know what's going on. people are extra super nice. It's different from what I don't know. I don't know how to explain none of this type of stuff. And you say stuff and stuff just pop up on conversations. Like we were talking about salad with my coworker, and then next day he like, "Hey, you know what? I went home and there was salad waiting on me." Just crazy stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's good.
Uh,
Tapped in.
I huh?
Tapped in.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, actually, yeah, and I finished reading your book. You wrote a beautiful book too. That's a very beautiful book. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad. Thank you so much for reading it. And I'm sure you got some books in you too, and I hope we can have a conversation about it. So glad to see you again.
Likewise.
Anthony, how you been?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How you been?
Doing good. What brings you into the medicine garden today, and what's on your soul today, which is what we're going to talk about in our conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm just out here just trying to figure stuff out, you know what I mean? And sometimes you try to do it on your own. I mean, that's cool. I have people I deal, that I kick it with too. And at my shop, I kind of use my chair as a platform, talk to the little youth and whoever is kind of going through it. And then I got to figure out, I need help myself sometimes. I got to be able to say, hey, you know what? Sometimes you need some little help, you know what I mean? So I said, let me kind of reach out to some folks, some like-minded folks, and then Spirit kind of led me different spots, and I said, okay, I kind of like it over there. Let me rock with these folks and see what they got going on, because whatever God, put in me, I gotta put it out, you know what I mean? And I got like a small thing I do on my little Facebook, but just to kind of enlighten people. But this stuff kind of new to me, so I'm kind of trying to figure this stuff out, but still, trying to give God His time, and then put my time in, and then trying to, balance my life out and get all the little, mess out of my life. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it's just that's what we're here for, to try to help each other out. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
Yeah. So that's about it. And
Beautiful.
I'm also writing a book. Also, I got a couple of books that I'm working on. I got one that's finished, but it's just little one just a life story and little situation I went through. I think you probably heard about it with the little witches and stuff trying to sacrifice me on Halloween. But that's a long story. I don't want to take up your time with all that. With I'll talk about it. But God brought me through, man. God really brought me through. The Most High brought me through that. He actually woke me up and told me what was going on and said, pray. I was like, what the heck? I'm looking around. I'm like, this is crazy. All this real thick, stuff going on in my room. And, I'm looking around. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And chest heavy. And I'm like, man, this is not normal. This is crazy. What is going on? And he was just like, just pray. Start praying and whatnot. And I said, I reversed it. Well, I didn't reverse. God reversed it. I didn't do nothing. He told me what to do. He said, you know what to do. And I started praying, and everything turned around. And I'm like, well, who did that? And I said, and I had, and something told me it was some people back in the day, an ex of mine had did that stuff to, were doing witchcraft over me, because I was wondering why every time I get a bit of real estate, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, I'm doing real good, all of a sudden it'll dry up. I'll be doing real good and then it'll dry up, you know. So I didn't know she was, after all them years that they was using me for their PlayStation, they was practicing witchcraft on me. A whole, come to find, it wasn't just her, it was a whole coven. Her whole family was into that stuff. So, God brought me out of it. They were trying to kill me so many times I passed death. I had almost died from COVID, was in car wrecks, and I'm like, why is all this crazy stuff happening to me back to back? And that's why I separated from her, because I said something not right with this girl, because she's like a ice queen, and I like to be happy and smile and be cheerful, and she sit there just like a little, just looking at me out the corner. I'm like, okay, what's something? This girl has a spirit. You know how you like to have fun and laugh and talk, and then she'll sit and be looking at the corner, just like she's mad. I'm like, this don't make no sense, you know. So I
Yeah.
prayed for her. She told me she was Catholic, and then but she had a sometimes they'll hide behind that and be doing other stuff. So that's what she was doing. She was portraying to be something that she wasn't. And I'm like, okay, I got me a nice little quiet little island Catholic girl. She's sweet on. And she get mad, boy, all hell break loose. And I'm like, this is not normal. You know, then my sister came to the house. She's gifted like my mom, and my mom will tell you like it is. She used to tell my sister and them a long time ago. They brought two guys in the house. I remember two different occasions. My mom said, "Get this warlock out of my house." And my sister was like, "What are you talking about, Mom? I can never have a boyfriend." She's like, "Get this warlock out my house. This dude is doing." She could tell right then and whatnot. She did that to two different boyfriends that my baby sister and my older sister was talking to, and she was correct. Later on, it was verified. So my baby sister has that gift. She came into my house. And she said, "Somebody's doing witchcraft." And I'm looking around. And she looking around. The girl that was doing it, my ex, was look like innocent, looking like, "Oh, what do you mean? What is it?" She says, and I believe it's you. I looked at my sister. I says, "Why would you come to my house with all this craziness?" I mean, because my sister's a little, you know, she's a little off, but not off like that, you know. But she was dead on it. And she told me, she said, "Look, I don't care what you say. That girl is doing something here." I said, "Why'd you say that?" She said, "Because something came to me and said witchcraft. Witchcraft." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, something came to me when I came to your house and was whispering witchcraft. Be careful, witchcraft." I said, "Wow." So she got it like my mom got it, and I got a little bit intuition too. And you know, I have a little empath also because I really feel deeply. I might see somebody and I can feel whatever they're going through, and it drags me through the same emotions they go through. That's why I kind of be to myself because it's like when you get an empath, you feel you go in a place with a bunch of people, you feel all the emotions hit you at one time. You be like, "Oh man," da, 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 da. And then you know your mind starts spinning around. You be like, "Okay, so let me just clear, you know, let me clear the air. Go to my. It's not about me just trying to be by myself, and no, it's just be about me trying to clear my mind and clear all those energies because everything is energy and whatnot." And when I came to realize that, that's when I was able to deal with a lot of different things, you know, and like these people doing all this stuff, witchcraft and stuff over me. You know, it was some high end folks that was doing it too. Come to find out, they was part of it. They done seen my destiny, and they went in there and oh, this guy's gonna be, he's gonna, you know, he got a big calling over his life. We're gonna send these little flying monkeys in there to take his destiny. Which I didn't know they can do that. You know, I said, "Man, people can take your destiny, really?" But as I looked through the Bible, but who was that? Esau and what Jacob? He took his birthright. He took his birthright, stole it. You know, he pretended to have had the fur on his hand and all that stuff. I said, "Oh, wait a minute, that is in the Bible. They can do that." So to this day, they still doing that. The elites does that. I didn't know they was doing that. They into a lot of little slick stuff, and I wanted to expose that because I've been through it. You know what I mean? They can give you a gift, and the gift will drain your blessings, your spirit, and all this kind of stuff. I knew a guy one time had a business and nice thriving business. What kind of business was it? I forgot what my sister told me about this, and I knew the guy. And she said one of his friends gave him a picture. The business was thriving for 3 years, doing real good. As soon as he put that picture up in his business started going down the toilet. You know, and then he went to a spiritual guy. The guy said, "No, man." He went through. He says, "There's something going on with that picture right there, man." He says, "Oh, you got a lot of negative energy coming out of that picture. Get rid of that picture." And when he got rid of the picture, his business picked back up. You know, but the guy that he gave him the picture, his business started booming. He started, you know what I mean? I'm like, people, you know, but you know, people is wicked. You can go to a thrift store and get an item out of a thrift store, and it might have spirits in it. You don't even know it got spirits in it. You can get a mirror, you can get whatever, and it have spirits in it. And next thing you know, your house will be full of flying monkeys. You know. So I just want to be able to do something to expose a lot of this stuff that's going on that people don't know about. You know what I mean? I remember I was in a barber shop, was talking to this little young boy. He was in there. He said, "Yeah, I got a girlfriend. I love her, man." Da, da, da. I said, "Well, that's good, man." You know, he's probably about 20, 21 in college. And he said, "Yeah, she can cook too, and she can do this and she can do that." I said, "Oh, that's good, man." He said, "Yeah, this is our first date. She's cooking for him." I said, "What's she cooking?" And he says, "Meatballs and spaghetti." And if you're an older person, you know what that means. But he didn't. So all the older guys around was laughing. They were like, "Meatballs and spaghetti, you gonna eat that, man?" And they, and that just goes to say he didn't know nothing about what he. And I was like, "Man, I don't think nothing about that." I said, "But you never know." And he's like, "What you mean? What do you mean?" He said, "Man, that girl put some special sauce in there, man, and you'll be hooked, and you can't get rid of that girl. You'll be so much in love with that girl." And it just, I said, "Wow, this is." So it got a little deep, you know what I mean? But like I said, I was surprised that the young guy didn't know about that stuff, stuff like that. But I don't think his new girl was into nothing, but it was just a weird conversation. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, I've been through the same thing, so now when you go through traumatic situation like that, you kind of feel like you can't trust nobody, especially when you have family that did something to you. I had a family member that was involved with that particular situation, along with my ex, and I was like, wow, that don't make no sense right there. But they was into energy harvesting, which they call energy vampires and whatnot, and they'll sell your birthright to the highest bidder, to these elites out there. And I didn't know nothing about that at all. That she was such a little sweet, little quiet, little nice little mouse, and but she was full of the devil, obviously. And on Halloween, they decided to, after I figured them out, they got together and tried to do they tried to sacrifice me and went and got some kind of ancient demon from the pits of hell to take me out. And all him and his little flying monkeys came through here. And like I said, when I woke up, the room was thick, and it had a little. I just like, what the heck is going on? My chest beating fast, and I'm looking around, seeing these little shadows around in my room, and I'm like, this is crazy. And I prayed and got it up off of me, and it went back. And I said, you get a gift. They gave me a gift before Christmas, and I repackaged it and sent it back to them. I said, well, I don't want this gift. I'm, I'm gonna let y'all have that one. And now to this day, they're going through hell. They're going through pure hell. And they tried to say, "Oh, you did something." Da, 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 da. I said, "No, no, I didn't do nothing to you. What I did was I just cleansed myself, and I got my heart right with the Most High, and I let Him do His job." You know what I mean? And He did His job. He said, "Don't worry about it," because I was scared the crap out of me. But once you get your heart right with the man upstairs, He's gonna take over. You ain't gotta do nothing else. And He kept coming to me like, "Hey man, I got this." And then my angels was like, "Hey, I got this. Calm down, chill out." You know what I mean? Because you go through a traumatic situation like that, and then it wasn't that one time. They were doing this for years, years. And I kept saying, "Why I keep having this bad luck? Why is this stuff going on?" My hair was falling out. I was stressed out. I couldn't keep couldn't. Every time I make a little money, everything goes out the door. Everything goes out the door, and I'm drained. I get up, I feel drained, like my whole body's just drained.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, sir. I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh,
I
my
just want to
bad,
let
man.
everybody.
I'm rambling on too long.
I
I'm
just want.
sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
know what's going on with you, and if that goes on to anybody out there in the world, just know that the devil is a coward. You know what I'm saying? Everything he
There you
do in the
go.
shadows, we light workers, we doing the light. He can't
There
come
you
hang with
go.
us, he can't come step nobody in the light. He a coward and he a faggot. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So no,
That's right.
whoever listen, don't even worry about the devil, man. God got you, and the devil's scared of God. Why would you
That's
mess with the
right.
devil, roll with the devil? You know what I'm saying? When you can mess with God, and God is a beautiful entity. and his
That's right.
children are very beautiful.
That's
So
right.
yeah, people out there, fuck the devil. He a coward.
That's right. And yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that, man. But like I said, I just thank God for you guys, man. And I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Because I said to myself, I said, well, somebody told me, they said, well, the reason why they mess, I said, why is they messing with me? So why is all these people? They said, because you have something inside you that the devil don't want to get out. And then I thought about it. I said, okay, that must be what, because I said, I just can't have no good, and the devil wants you to give up. So I'm just encouraging you guys, you're going through some kind of depression or some kind of something that you really don't, it's not normal. I feel like you're alone and all this kind of stuff. That's the enemy. I've been through all that. The devil will try to isolate you by yourself, and that way he can, you know, walk you off a cliff. And I'm like, I'm not falling for that. I refuse to fall for that. And I got prayed up, and as I got prayed up, he brought me out of it, and then things start turning around, slowly but surely, turning around, turning around.
Only
The
the
more,
strong survive.
yeah, the more I prayed, the more I got closer to God, the more He opened up the doors and started showing me stuff and guided me in the right direction and putting the right people in my life. And I'm like, okay, okay, But I had just got to a point where I just didn't, I didn't trust a lot of people, because when you go through trauma, that changes you. When you go through pure hell, you know what I'm saying. And then they still doing it, then that changes you. But like I said, the Most High he's still running through them right now. When they couldn't get the job done, they went to hire people of higher, like high priests. They went overseas to try to get it done because these people had money, you know. And I said, why is they doing all this for me? I ain't got nothing. What the hell? you know, why are you doing this to me? But they told me, they said you're a star seed. And I didn't even know that. They said you're not only a star seed, but you're an earth angel. I'm like, where I get all these titles from? I don't know where these. I mean, I don't know nothing about that, so I had to study up on it and whatnot. But like I said, my dad is a preacher. And when they say your dad's a preacher, they say the preacher's kids the worst kids.
Anthony,
Oh, my bad, I'm rambling on. Go ahead.
I was waiting to see when you're going to allow space for other people to speak. I was
Oh,
letting
my
you
bad. I'm
speak.
sorry. I'm
What you're
sorry.
saying is very important. It's very spiritually aware, and people need to hear it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just just glad to be have a spiritual family I can express this to.
I understand.
Oh.
It's really good to be seen and have a safe space to talk. At the
Yeah.
same time,
Thanks for sharing, bro.
it's my responsibility to hold the vibration, make sure everyone's heard.
That's right. That's right.
And I don't condone the use of profanity in here. There's children who watch my channel, so let's think about them as well.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you for speaking on witchcraft, as I shared a video on that, and it's very much real. And I wanted to again return to the theme of tonight, which is soul. So we're gonna tie it right back into that. Abai, welcome. Josh, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to turn your video on and let us know you're a real person. Otherwise, I'm gonna take you off the call. And Abai, how are you doing? Welcome back to the Medicine Garden. We're talking about soul. Let us know how you're feeling in your soul today. And then I want to talk about how do you recognize someone is living in their soul? What is the soul to you? Because that might help someone like Anthony also discern people who don't know, like witchcraft is real, and how do you recognize that someone might be sending you bad energy? So discerning people who are living in soul might be able to help. So we'll talk about that today. But Abai, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay. So, are you wanted me to say a little bit about the soul? You saying soul? Is that?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Now, my
Yes.
mute. I have something playing in the background. Is it not overwhelming? Is it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know really. Soul. I just look at soul like spirit. Your spirit. Spirit. spiritness, spirituality. You know, I learned. No, I've done a lot of research on these things, and I'm gonna make sure I make it brief. I learned that from Dr. Wade Nobles, and he said spirit, spiritness, and spirituality. Spirit is spiritness is being spirit, and spirituality is the quality of the spiritness. You know, of being. You know, all of that combined. Spirit is spiritness is being spirit, and spirituality is the quality of that spirit and spiritness that you be. And yeah, you know, from the brief bit that I heard, there are beings out here that know some of us possess that Christ essence. You know, I call it the org essence, and there are people that know it, and they really, evidently, they don't really understand the power of these things because they wouldn't be doing or attempting to do the things that they're doing to these certain individuals. That's how I know that they're power struck on physicality, because I look at people talking about how powerful they are, but hey, if the only power that you believe you have is physical, then you have no power, because that means you have no spiritual connection. Because the last time I checked, before we ever became bodies, everything was still being done, and I mean it was being done from the invisible, from the spiritually unseen. And when people come to learn that they don't have spirits, they are spirits, they have bodies, then that power, you tap into that power. I mean, you're still going to have your ups and downs. And of course, there are going to be groups of people that are doing spell work and all these things against you. But when you know that you are, as there's a term called sankofa, which means to go back and get it. When you know that you're doing that shadow work, and you're putting forth that effort to go back and get your original spiritual org essence, when you go through things, they don't, you don't just go through them, and you remain there and you wallow in that stuff. It's almost like instantaneously you go through it and you come out of it, but you always come out of it with much more than you had before you went into it. That's how you know that you're growing. you know uh there's a scripture that I share with people, and I'm not going to go too deep into that, but it's Ephesians chapter 4 verses 23 and 24, and it says to be made new in the spiritual attitude of your mind, and to put on the new self created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. There must be a spiritual transformation of one's mind. You know what I'm saying? In order for certain things to take place, or you to begin to remember your org essence, because your org essence is your original spiritual Christ self, Krst. And when you remember that, you start getting these like akashic record downloads. You know what I'm saying? You start getting things that you haven't been taught. Nobody have they haven't you haven't been even been taught these things. And living in a society filled with epigenetics. I was, man, this is deep, because I was just speaking to the universe today, saying, look, I've done all the suffering. I've done all the sacrificing of myself, drugs, alcohol, whatnot. I've seen all the downsides of this, that, and the other. I've been nothing but love my entire life. I'm telling y'all, in the age between the ages of 9 and 11, I remember I've talked to myself my entire life. And you used to be told that when you talk to yourself, you're crazy. This is how I know they're listening to us and they're watching and tapping through our devices, because I'm seeing doctors all over social media and all over the web talking about talking to yourself now is the best thing you could ever do. There used to be a time when they said you talking to yourself, you're crazy, something wrong with you. Well, that depends on what you're saying to yourself. If what you're saying to yourself is divine purpose, then keep speaking to yourself. Because last time I checked, until you're able to speak to yourself honestly and clearly, uh, with a righteous spiritness and spirituality to it, you're not gonna hear what nobody else got to say anyway. And I had told y'all this before. All we're gonna do is run from the truth, and basically that's running from consciousness. And last time I checked, if you're running from the truth and consciousness, you're running from God, and ain't nothing happening there. And so, uh, just look around, y'all. When you see the stuff that's going on, you see these countries with these nukes and 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 whatnot. They only mess around with other countries that don't have nukes. It's almost like they only pick on people that they have already made up their mind that they could defeat. And I box for years, so I'm always a boxer. I'm a fighter. It's like a fighter picking opponents that he's already analyzed and said they don't have a chance of doing back to me what I can do to them. That's a coward society, as he was saying down there. That's like the essence of the devil. The devil wants to know everything about you, but he don't want you to know anything about him. And I tell people all the time, you want to know who somebody is? I'm gonna give y'all a great way of reading spirits. Truth doesn't need any help. It's gonna always speak and be what it is. A lie gonna need help every day, all day. You're gonna have to keep telling lies. The a righteous person cannot pretend to be evil, and evil cannot pretend to be righteous. Uh, the enemy cannot give you information that uplifts you and helps you better yourself. You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense. It was said in the Bible. You call me the devil and I'll go around casting out devils. That makes no sense. That's like defeat the devil defeating his own kingdom. So stop wasting your energy on trying to figure somebody out because they're gonna always tell you who they are by what they be, what they speak, and then you're gonna see the essence of that being portrayed in their existence in what they do. And look at society. Look at like drive-bys, for instance. When somebody do a drive-by, they always gotta try to find the appropriate time when you're unaware, when they can catch you off guard. That's a coward, man. That show me right there you have no power. If you're gonna do something, why don't you just go on and do it? No, because they're afraid that you may be capable of doing the same things to them. We live in a society that is based off everybody being at a disadvantage. So if you gotta have everybody in a disadvantage, how are you so powerful then? You have no power. Some people say the powers that be. Some people just say the powers that were. I say the powers that never were because they base everything off having us at a disadvantage. And I'm connecting that back to the spirit, to the soul. When you remember your org spiritual Chris self, all these things start to shed. They start to stick out like a sore thumb, and you start to be able to read things like it's. I read people in spirits like they're preschool babies. It's like you can't fake the funk around me because I know what I am. I'm a divine deity. I'm a divine spirit. I'm a god. And for ancient terms, I'm a netcher. Ntchr. I am a netcher. Or you could be a manetcher, which is the feminine. And so I've come to know these things. That's why the conversation I had with the universe, with the universal prime creator today is, hey, look, I'm commanding that I experience the best, the auric essence, because I've gone through all that other stuff now. It's time for me to see the universe's best that it has to offer me. And it can't deny me because I've already gone through all that other stuff and I've remained nothing but a loving, kind, uplifting spirit. After all that has been done to me, I'm still on here willing to give people the truth and tell them something that's uplifting to them. So if you wonder who I am, listen to what I'm saying. Because, like I said, the lie can't tell you the truth. Deception can't enlighten you. Destruction cannot be constructed because it has no ability to do so. And so when you start looking at things like that, that's who you know who it is that you're speaking to because you're gonna be what you are. You can't hide it. And people try to fake the funk all the time. It's like saying, "Oh man, I'm a loving. I love people, and I love this, and I love doing good things." And when it comes time to give that love, you don't have it to give because you never were it. Love is a spirit. It's the essence of our existence. So based off spirit, man, what type of spirit are you? How you determine it is by what you be. So yeah, that's how you're gonna know what you are. That's how you're gonna know who's around you. And if that made any sense to y'all, man, I'm kind of went different places and trying to piece things together, but it's basically based off of what do you know you are? And when you know what you are, then you be that, and others will know it. They won't have to believe it. They're gonna know it because they're gonna see you being it. And one more thing, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this one. I had said this last week. When you look around you, 99.9% of the people, they live, they exist, dwell, and operate from the fact of the matter that it's not based off who they think they are. It's not based off who you think they are. It's based off who they think they are. That's a screwed up mindset to be in. Basically, what I'm saying, from the church to everybody that's claiming to be conscious, everybody that's claiming to be this, that, and the other, watch closely. Start with yourself and get in the mirror. And when you see the truth, make the adjustments. That's how you're going to start to become that Christ essence, that Christ essence, and you'll be able to give unto others that are willing to receive the truth. You'll start being able to give them the things that they need. Look at yourself and analyze yourself and say, am I being the way I am because I think this is what people think I am? Then you make that correction, because you got to know what you are, and you got to be that because you know that that's your R essence, and that's what you were sent here to be. But when you base your life off of being what you be, based off you think this is what people think of you, you're going to be confused, and you're going to be off balance your entire existence. That's basically what I connect to spirit.
I checked it.
Hotel.
Check this out. So, like you said,
One
yeah.
second.
So you said earlier in your
Yeah.
what you were saying. Um,
Hmm?
yeah, you said earlier. What's that?
Can we give Madeline a moment to speak, and then we'll have you speak?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Very
I'm
strong
sorry.
masculine energy in the room, and I thank you. I know a lot of men watch the channel. I need y'all to speak up. There's a reason why Madeline is here, right? And I want to hear her
Oh,
thoughts on what are you witnessing in your atmosphere where you are, Madeline? A lack of soulfulness in the men who are listening. I want you to listen to her and make a decision of how your next strategy, your next move in uplifting the soul, honoring the soul, encouraging others to be more soulful with their lives, including yourself. As you listen to her, make a decision what the next move in your creative process is. Madeline, if you feel comfortable and you feel safe and you feel welcomed, we would love to hear your thoughts.
And what was the specific?
In your world, where you are, in your society, community, what are you witnessing in a lack of soulfulness in others? Or perhaps even in your own experience. We all go on the wrong road and sell our soul sometimes, and then we come back home. What
Yeah.
is your experience in that way?
So I would say for me, a lot of people are just living in like this like trying to be everyone around them, trying to like present themselves as being something, and that kind of goes with what how do you say it? Abo said.
I go by Abaya, but
Abai, yeah. Like
I-
try-
please correct us, Abaya.
what?
Abaya, how do you pronounce your first name correctly? You're muted.
a bio.
Bio.
Abai, yeah. No, I definitely resonate with what you said, because people are trying to just be how did you say it? You said they're trying to be who you.
Right. It's like, just imagine you think a certain way about yourself. When you look at society, that's not what it is. It's not based off what we think we are, or what someone else thinks that you are. We base it off what we think they think we are. You
They
see what
think.
I'm saying? Like say, use the example. Oh, I'm going to treat this. I'm going to treat Pata this way, or Chris this way, because I ain't soft. You know what I'm saying? We didn't planted that seed in our head that we got to be hard because we think somebody thinks that we got to be that way. Instead of just showing love and just eliminating that negativity altogether and conquering that garbage. But we pimp our own self by thinking we have to know what it is that somebody else thinks about us instead of being what we should be. That's basically what I was saying.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true with a lot of the people that I see, because I feel like they are scared to kind of live in their truth, because maybe they're worried. Either maybe number one, they don't know, they're not conscious, or they're not really able to kind of like awaken. But maybe two, they're just worried like what people will think of them if they really do become vulnerable and like become who they are. You really have to open up, I would say, your heart and kind of put yourself out there to a certain extent. So a lot of people are just kind of putting on a facade, I would say, and just being fake, really, but just maybe unconscious.
Thank you. Pita, could you share some advice of how to help people not be afraid of what people think about themselves? And maybe what is your experience of being so boldly yourself and sharing what you think? Like, no filter. I love that. So please don't think that I don't want you to be the fire that you are. It's needed. It's necessary. It's healing.
Okay. So what I recently just got over that. So I just got on the stage and started talking at the open mic. And that first night, I'm not. I won't go say anything anywhere, whatever. If I heard the question correctly, how to get over. That's how I got over it.
What kind of open mic was it? Was it just say anything?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can do music, whatever. But I chose to speak to the people in regards to things that be on my mind or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
What are your honest thoughts about what's happening right now in our society, in your society? Like,
It's a lot. What you say?
in regard to a lack of soul, or the boldness to live in our soul and what that means, and speaking to ourselves, allowing ourselves to be free thinkers and to speak on things that maybe people can't see, like Anthony was saying earlier. There's things that are happening in the spirit world that are very much obvious, but no one wants to talk about it. That's we can
Yeah.
feel what's going on, and we know. So
Uh, let me see. It's a lot. Let me see. It's so much going on. Let me see. Can you pinpoint? Because it's a lot of. I can't. If I you said, can you repeat the question again? You know what I'm saying? Kind of a nerve. It's a
what do you
lot going on through my mind.
yeah, there's a lot going on. The shame to be in our soul, or maybe just like Madeline was saying, not being able really to understand what soul is or who we are. Everything is in life seems to prevent us from being able to live that type of authenticity because we can't make enough money. It's not successful. But we're here because we're all encouraging ourselves to live in soul. So this block of shame or whatever prevents people from truly thinking for themselves, living the life that they know the divine is speaking through them, but they choose not to. And every day we battle it. We make specific choices that dishonor the vision or dishonor what we know is right because we're afraid. Because we need money, we got to eat, we got to pay the bills. So how do we live more in our soul? Disregarding what people think about us, who we even think we are. Who is the divine telling us who we are, and how to honor that?
My thing would be just do what you love to do every day. If you love to do this and you good at it and you enjoy it, you might have a job or whatever, but especially with the internet, the TikTok, the drop ship and all that, just do what you love to do. And the most high, aka my dad, and your spirit guides guide you through the way, through number sequences, coincidences, and everything else. Um, yeah, that's that. Off the top of my head, that'll be my advice. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you love to do, and surround yourself, and always surround yourself with positive people. You know what I'm saying? That's a must if you can find them, for real.
What are your thoughts on someone who says, I want to do what I love, but maybe that doesn't make me feel like enough of a man, or I'm strong enough because I want to be an artist, or I want to talk about spirituality, but I'm afraid.
Man, real quick, because I'm gonna tie it into what you said. Anthony was talking about the unseen. That's what our existence is predominantly based on. Spirit, that's a spirituality. But we have been taught to look at all of these, look at the majority of our existence from physicality. So that's how we get lost. The spiritually unseen, it controls everything, but we've been brainwashed into believing that these so-called powers that never were, or the power. No, they have no power. And tying to what Patah said, basically what you do, man, is you spend time alone and you talk to yourself and you allow the universe and the universal prime creator to speak to you. When these things line up with all essence of life giving from a divine purposeful perspective, creating from a divine purposeful perspective, and being uplifting. And I have a, a truckload of terms, but I'm not gonna call them all. Just remember, if it's life giving from a divine purpose, because you can give life to evil. So that's why I'm using divine purpose. If it's life giving from a divine purposeful perspective, if it's creating from a divine purposeful perspective, and if it's uplifting from a divine purposeful perspective, it is the truth. Speak that. Do not be afraid, because the more that you're willing to do it, the more you're going to become it. Like I'm looking at Anthony. I don't know any of you. I haven't met any of you until tonight. I already heard Anthony briefly. Anthony is he's at a point to where he's free and he's unafraid now. He's willing to be free and to speak what it is that's being shown to him. I ain't even heard Chris speak. I'm looking at Chris. Chris is a spiritual sponge. He's a sponge. He has a very observing presence to him. Then you got Pata. Pata can cross all kind of lines, and he's fearless, and he's starting to understand that no matter how he sounds, we need to hear him like that because I love the way he speak. He has that roughness to him because we've been too soft at attacking these areas anyway. That boldness that he has, that unafraid. Don't be afraid. Speak, and when you know that you're speaking from the oil, it's gonna flow like the Nile. It's gonna flow like the Nile anyway. Then you got Madeline. I'm looking at Madeline. Madeline is basically she's coming into her surety. She's finding that place of surety where she's willing to just let her voice be heard and not be at the place where she's too busy thinking about what others think about her because the way she first presented her response to when you asked her, I can see everybody on here is getting into that position to where I'm no longer willing to go with this code of silence that we've created within the sewer, within the ghetto and the hood. Because if you're gonna be silenced on something that's anti-org, anti-Christ, and anti-divine purpose, then you are part of the problem. And when we come to realize that and be unapologetic and just willing to speak the truth, it's just going to flow like the Nile River. The Nile floods and it gets rid of stuff to prepare a way for rebirth and things like that. All you got to do is remember that we're connected to the org and we like the Nile River, man. We do what we need to do, and in hopes that others will be in a receptive spirit. And then when you putting these things out into the universe, watch the reciprocation. It's going to come back to you. That's what's going to be on your boomerang. So, in other words, all I'm saying is line it up with life giving creativity and uplifting from a divine, purposeful perspective, and you will never go wrong. You'll never go wrong.
Thank you. Chris, I want to hear your final thoughts. Greg, welcome back. And Greg and Chris, in the last 8 minutes of our time together,
Hold
what
up, Greg.
sorry to put you on the spot, Greg. What advice would you give to someone who's listening how to live in integrity of what their soul is asking them to do? To truly do it. And Abai gave the most important key here. Anthony gave us a tool about prayer. Abai, you said simply, it's uplifting the spirit of others in divine purpose. It is that simple. That is what soul is asking us to do. That is what a soulful life is. It's uplifting to others. Coming from a place where a lot of us might be raging, angry, desperate in situations right now, struggling. People who are listening in America, things are not kosher right now. It's a lie. It's a delusion of reality that our leaders are painting to us that's just not grounded at all. So we're on the ground. We have to create our businesses, right? We're not waiting. How do we do it in the soul, but walking in the integrity? Because it's tempting. It's very tempting when you got to feed a family, when you're trying to make it out here, or if you just had enough. Our ancestors have had enough. We're done. There's too much violence. What are we going to do? How do we let that go? And Abai is saying, Anthony's saying, you pray and you still uplift the spirit of others. That is your sole purpose. Everyone in here and everyone listening, that is your sole purpose. How do you walk that out? With integrity. What advice would you give Chris and Greg? And I think Chris is ready to go first.
Okay. I enjoyed everybody tonight. It was awesome. Anthony, you said some stuff about some witches, and I was kind of like, you try seeing me over here laughing. I'm like, that's kind of hitting. So
Happy Halloween.
yeah, man. And you said something about your sister. So I stay by myself, and my little sister, she comes and she works close by downtown Detroit and works for the Lions, and she might stay a night or two a week. And we went out one night, and we had a couple drinks, and she kind of maybe a beer or two, and she was kind of talking about some stuff, and I could tell, like, man, like she's kind of on fire, you know. And she said she's very protective of me. She's a lot younger than me, but I thought that was interesting. And Abai always says some good stuff. And I guess with the soul, I spoke with the guy about this the other day, and I've said this on here before. Like I got dogs, and I'm looking for like certain traits, and in people, you know, we all come from God, or you're God's people. I'm looking for like that trait in you, like that rich spirit in you, like that light in you. And a lot of times you can attract likewise people, and a lot of times you can attract kind of energy sucking people. And sometimes I feel like it's just cool to uh, protect your energy a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, physically, and spiritually. So like, I'm smart. You're not gonna play with me. Like my spiritual energy is large, and I'm good with weapons. So it's all around. But I think too, what gives you like that fuel to keep going is what is, you know, that's like what your spirit really is desiring, you know, and that's going to keep you moving in the right direction. And I think if you are somebody who's really rocking with God and God's rocking with you, a lot of times he'll just blow you in the right direction. You could just go with it, and he'll push you in the right direction if you really got that spirit like that. So I appreciate today was awesome. This was an awesome conversation.
Thank you, Chris. So what I'm hearing from Chris, just to define it clearly,
Yeah.
take accountability for your spiritual hygiene.
Yeah.
Regarding people, when you look at people, is your first instinct to judge them, or are you praying for them, for their success, that they are in alignment with their soul, that they are fulfilled?
Can I say one other thing too? Abai said something about people being who you think they are, or something kind of like that. And sometimes it'll be like somebody got some paperwork and they're like, I'm a good person. Check the paperwork. And it's like that paperwork don't mean jack squat visually. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a brave person. Look at what I got or something like that. Bro, stop playing. And I think we're coming into that time frame or something where it's like people are starting to see through that a little bit. And it's always been a lot of, you know, little jokey in your face. But people are like, oh, well, you got the paperwork that shows you're this, but you have to really look deeper and observe people. You know, observe whatever they're saying. I got a lot of animals. I coach, and I'm always watching. You know, I'm always listening. I'm trying to be non-biased so I can get the best read. And I think that's a good way to approach people as well. Don't let them play you, but you'll get a true read of them without you being biased. Yeah, and just do what makes you feel good. You know, like, it ain't bothering nobody else.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you all for bringing in the energy tonight and talking about soul. Unfortunately, by the time I need to honor that so I can keep coming back. But Maxwell, Greg, if you come back next week, you'll be the first to share. And just thank you all for coming in tonight and sharing your stories. Please reach out to me if you need some support to walk forward with you, to be your advocate. That's what I'm here for. Thank you for sharing your stories. And I'll see you guys next week. Reach out to me if I could be of support. And stay warm, stay blessed, stay in your soul. Keep listening to it. All right. Peace and love.
Thank you so much. I love you guys. All right.
Hotep, same here. Much America to you all.
Thank y'all. Have a nice week.
Yes.
Guys, bye.
Hotep. All right, that Maxwell. I'm gonna get in touch with you. All right.